I hope the start to the new year has been going well for you so far. If not, maybe some of the anime from winter 2024 will change that, though it's probably too soon to tell how well either will do just yet. Many see the new year as an opportunity to change or improve something about themselves. I'm not typically someone that does New Year's resolutions, but maybe I should. There's been a lot of anime ideas I've wanted to discuss and ended up overanalyzing the topics without producing anything from that analyzation, and I think this year I'm going to try and do much different. With that said, let's begin talking about what will be airing during the winter 2024 season. I've taken the liberty of placing anime with little community interest and or don't captivate me into the skip tier. Many of these shows fall under a couple of categories I'm not generally a fan of. Ecchi, over-the-top comedy, otome isekai, and this weird fascination with tamers that's popped up in fantasy anime recently. That leaves me with 25 or so anime to figure out my impressions of. Let me know in the comments the anime you're most or least looking forward to this season. The first anime on the list to rank is without a doubt the most popular one of the entire season. Solo Leveling has been anticipated for a long time by a massive amount of followers. People that read manga or manhwa all the time talk about how it's one of the best things they've ever read. People that have never read anything took the time out of their day to read this and say how amazing it was. I can't speak to the source material because I've never experienced it. Nonetheless, I'm excited for the adaptation. When I take a look at the trailers, the crisp animation gave me hope that the hype around the anime can match that, since those adapting it appear to be taking this seriously. So we start off on a high note with this being placed in bangers. As long as we don't end up with a Tower of God scenario, this will live up to the hype for me. Next we have Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, and I'm split on how I feel about this. On the one hand, it seems like something chill I can watch an episode before going to bed to. On the other hand, the trailers paint a different picture, and I don't find the fan service moments very comedic. Maybe I'm just lacking the context, but other anime where I've had the context weren't funny either. I'm expecting this to be average at best. Then there's Classroom of the Elite's third season, and the return of everyone's favorite quirked up genius, Ayana Koji. I expect it to be popular, and it already has a lot of interest. For me though, this will be a make or break season. Classroom of the Elite still hasn't given a good reason to care or really be emotionally invested in any of the characters. And when you have the main character themselves expressing the same feeling, I don't see how that'll change. I did find the latter half of the second season enjoyable, so if the third season can prove that it can maintain a similar level of quality on a consistent basis, I'll be interested in watching the anime into the future. As a make or break, that moves this down from popular to something approved for me personally. After that, I feel like I recall Urusei Yatsura having a positive sentiment from the community in the past. This winter the anime is getting its second season, and with additional episodes where it'll spill into spring. At some point I want to set some time aside and give this show a chance since I haven't before now. Until then, this will be a skip. So Blue Exorcist, Shimine Illuminati Saga, if that's how it's pronounced, and this will be the third season. It's been a while since this anime has aired and no doubt will bring back fans that have long awaited a sequel. Older fans are likely to recall a long wait between the first two seasons as well. I'm not one of those people with much interest in this. The shows come off as just an average shonen experience. Swords are cool, demons are cool, but the story is just lukewarm. I've no doubt this will be popular amongst others. Next is The Danger in My Heart Season 2. I don't have much to say about this one. I'm really only familiar with the first season synopsis, and I can only guess that was only for the first episode. It doesn't feel like people talk about this anime much on social media, but a lot of people enjoy it. It'll be going into the popular tier and is personally a skip. Then we have Chain Soldier. At first I saw the art cover and got interested. Then there was the trailers, the fact it'll be an ecchi and harem anime, and that kernel of curiosity lost a lot of its appeal. With how much interest it already has from the community, I can see this being popular. However, popularity doesn't equate to quality, and only time will tell what will come of this anime. Now we're at The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil. Nothing about this anime jumps out at me that would indicate a fresh or unique perspective on an angels versus demons romance. To be fair, the rival faction members turn lovers concept is very common in literature, which no doubt makes it that much harder to pull off anything different. Maybe there's more here than meets the eye, so I'll have to give the anime a chance, but for now I'm placing it into the average tier. Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy's second season has got to be one of the sequels I've anticipated the most for the last couple of years. Definitely not to the same extent as something like Mushoku Tensei, but top 5 for sure. This is why it goes straight into the bangers. The things this anime did right that helped me fall in love with this show are some of the same things done wrong that keeps me from embracing something similar like Reincarnated as a Slime. Even in the first season of Reincarnated as a Slime, which I consider it at its best, it struggled to balance the action fantasy and political fantasy city building elements of the plot. This becomes painfully apparent in the second season when characters would be yapping for half an episode and then we jump into a super fast fight sequence. Moonlight Fantasy, on the other hand, didn't feel out of balance, and I'm excited for what this season can offer. Fire Hunter Season 2 is what we'll be discussing now, and this is a dark horse for sure. The first season did an excellent job reeling me in with its unique art style and fascinating story. Fire Hunter doesn't fit into my usual idea of a dark horse. I'm more so hoping it'll gain the recognition it deserves since it's criminally underviewed. This is my moment to step up and help change that viewpoint. Do you like Fire Force for how grim the backstory of the plot can be at times? Do you like the folklore setting of Princess Mononoke? Well, Fire Hunter combines both of these into the tale of hunters that seek out the destructive fire that consumes villages in an instant, and an ongoing plot of ancient deities and clans in this dystopian world. Bottom tier character Tomozaki's second stage has solid community interest, which I find surprising since I've never heard of it until now. I won't be watching it, but maybe I'll go back at some point to the first season to see why it's liked so much. This will be dropped into popular for its current interest, and I'll be skipping it. For the Demon Prince of Momochi House, I could see this being something that becomes liked during the season. I'm getting similar vibes to Kakuryou Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, which was relaxing and enjoyable. We'll have to see if it's able to rise to that same level or it's just something mid, so I'll put it in as something to prove. Then Kingdom's 5th season will be airing. Manga-wise, super popular, highly rated, with multiple accolades. Anime-wise, the animation is rough and really only for the die-hard Kingdom fans. I'll be skipping this. Up next, the extremely long-winded and unnecessarily titled Isekai anime. My instant death ability is so overpowered, no one in this other world stands a chance against me. I've been equally as long-winded in my distaste for much of the anime that comes from the Isekai genre, so we won't monologue for the billionth time on this point. I expect this to be an average show and better than some of the other crap Isekai we've yet to cover. As always, I will be watching. Great Pretender is getting an ONA called Razblioto. I have heard nothing but great things about the anime, so I think this could be popular. Also, because I was too dumb to turn off email notifications from Crunchyroll, this will be released in select theaters across the United States, January 9th and 10th. And I'm so late to getting this video out that if you didn't already know, it's pretty much too late. For myself, the heist con or scam artist type of shows or movies have been ruined for me by the really bad ones, so I've never been able to bring myself to watch Great Pretender. That does not mean I have anything against it though. We're now at The Witch and the Beast, which off of cover art alone lets me know this is something I don't want to miss out on. I'm a sucker for gothic and Victorian settings with the moody aesthetic that seems to come with it. It looks cool, and most importantly, I feel like these shows take the most risks and have plot points that surprise me more than others. To match that aesthetic, my opinion is that The Witch and the Beast will be a dark horse. So I just spent a couple of minutes trying to figure out what this was, and who'd have guessed just opening the image I downloaded helped tell me this was a Gundam movie, which conveys how much I care about movies. Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom is part of the Gundam franchise, so fans enjoy while I skip. And I'll go ahead and mention Haikyuu fans have fun with the movie Battle of the Garbage Dump, which I expect to be popular. Now that those are out of the way, we have our first anime to add to the bad tier. Banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. This is one of the worst fantasy animes I've ever had the displeasure to watch, and getting a second season fills me with disappointment that many other people felt otherwise. Red and Rit lacked any interesting qualities. Red's sister doing little to keep him in the hero's party just comes across as stupid because I don't see how inhibited emotions would impact her previously clingy mannerisms. And all in all, there's nothing in the plot that is engaging mentally or emotionally. As I've expressed in the past, at this point when it comes to romance anime, what I'm really looking for is something more relatable, especially age-wise, with an investigation of more mature themes. A Sign of Affection, I hope, is something along that vein, and the synopsis leads me to believe this could be the case. Exploring the romance of a university student with a disability, as well as them navigating with that said impairment, might lead to the viewer faced with harsh truths, much different than the utopian plot some romance try and convey. Maybe none of that happens and it's just something to wind down with. I want to see it succeed, so I'll be placing this into the dark horse tier. Tales of Wedding Rings is an anime I feel like I've seen somewhere before, but I just can't place it. Whatever the case, I guess I'll give it a go, but I'm having second thoughts. Bad to average tier it goes. The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids is a title that just broke my brain and looks like another generic fantasy or isekai anime. X character must be cool, right? Because they're from the hero's party, but nope, they got kicked. Meets girl, gets OP skill, and now is stronger than the hero as well as forms a harem. I'll give it a couple episodes before throwing it into the trash. Into the bad tier you go as well. Now, Ishura, on the other hand, I like a bit more from what I'm hearing. No demon king we have to beat or some happy-go-lucky plot, unless gore being a theme is a complete lie. On the other hand, those trailers don't give me a lot of confidence. I'll put this in something to prove. Could Metallic Rouge be the follow-up in a quality original anime story to Lycra's Recoil and Cyberpunk Edgerunners? Everything's an original to me since I go into 99% of anime with no concept of the source material being adapted, so the label of original or not is very meaningless to me. As a huge sci-fi fan, I always want to see anime of the genre succeed. However, the use of mechs is a crutch that hurts our ability to see a fresh interpretation. Metallic Rouge has something to prove this season. Then there's the Unwanted Undead Adventure, and it looks to be average. Much of the synopsis and trailers come across as a copy and paste of Skeletal Knight in Another World, and that wasn't really that great either. I do like the cover art, so I'll give it a try, and in the end I might end up being proven wrong. I don't see much interest currently in Meiji Gekken 1874, but it's piqued my curiosity. Samurai and Yakuza are cool, especially when combined with being a historical drama. Being that Crunchyroll is listed as a producer and the studio for it has almost no experience at all, I'm not willing to call it a dark horse. This anime has something to prove. For Delicious in Dungeon, I think this will be popular and something enjoyable to watch. It might even be legitimately funny. Anime like Restaurant to Another World have this similar gourmet appeal and are something I've had fun watching in the past, so maybe Delicious in Dungeon will offer me more of this experience that I enjoyed in the past. By now I'm used to giving some unpopular takes, so what's another one to add to that list? Mashle is extremely mid and might be one of the least funny anime I've ever seen. I can't see myself watching another season of this when a better use of my time would be watching trash isekai. It's going to be popular, but Mashle and I are parting ways. This is an important lesson for me to listen to others' advice, even less about manga that haven't been adapted yet, since I went in with such high expectations only for them to be crushed in the first season early on. That'll be my first impressions tier list of the anime from winter 2024. Some things you'll agree with and other things not so much. But at the end of the day, it's always fun to go through what a season has to offer so we can pick and choose what to watch. For my overall impressions of the winter season, there's a nice mix of different genres, new and returning anime, and additional shows to keep people interested if and when something doesn't meet their standards. My overall hope is that we don't end up like last year's winter where producers and studios took on a larger workload than was possible to get done, which ended up killing so many anime. This will be the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts on the anime, and if you don't like a specific opinion I had, let me know why I shouldn't think otherwise about that said anime. Like, subscribe, you know the standard YouTube algorithm spiel. I'll see you in the next video.